Alright folks, how are we doing? It's Shabash and welcome back to the channel. It's Orna again. Today we're doing some showcase of endgame warrior gameplay using Gilgamesh Cataphract at tier 10. The idea of this series is just to showcase all the different archetypes and what it's like at the endgame. So if you're thinking about playing down the warrior line or switching into it, you can have a look at this snippet of footage in different game contexts to see what it's like, see if you want to switch to it or you want to play down the line. So let's light a fire under it and get started with some raiding. Okay, so for raiding Morrigan, Gilgamesh Cataphract is of course super nice. Quick look at our gear. Again, maximum ward gear in our armor slots. Take the Arisen shield. We don't need a Mighty Griffin shield because Gilgamesh for some reason has innate dragon resistance. And then because we have Steadfast 2, I just take Karl's ring and Arisen ring for more damage, attack damage. And I'm using this Fey Man Havoc. Arisen Demeter's halberd is also good. Even the normal Demeter's halberd from tier 9 is very good. I was using the tier 9 weapon for a long time in tier 10. But with Cataphract we get Prison Wall, so we just use that first up. And that's all the resistances up in turn 1. It's just pretty ridiculous. And because we've only got 10% raid limit here, I'm just gonna... we don't need that many ward turns. Buff up with Bear's Might. If you're taking too much damage because of Bear's Might, you can just use Mimic's Mischief. And then our main damaging skill is going to be Swordplay 3. Sometimes I like to use Davic Channel along with it or not. Usually not. But this is it. This is Gilgamesh raiding. I don't know how many turns to buff up, but not a lot. And then we've got the Swordplay 3, proccing defense down temporarily, as well as our Assassin's Jewels doing work on the Morrigan as well. And you're just swapping between Osmo's Strike when you're slightly low on health. Mainly using Swordplay 3. You can buff up your ward turns at the start, increase your ward turns at the start depending on what your kingdom's raid limit is. I know some people like to use Spike Shield. But that's more useful if you're going to go way deeper into the Morrigan, do much higher damage per turn. You see, we're almost at our raid limit already, and it feels like we've barely started the raid, so... Swordplay 3 all the way. We basically have infinite mana with the Bear's Might, dropping our resistance all the way down, and that's it. So there we go, 10% damage to the Morrigan in a couple of minutes. Pretty good. It's pretty good. Alright, so Gilgamesh Cataphract, super good at doing hard mode boss dungeons. Let's take a look at gear. We've got Organic Venom, so I've put my faction element on it. Arisen Monster Tombs for maximum self-flagellation. And then just ward gear. Apollyon gear works just as good. We've got Old Northern Crown is really good, we get some extra mana. One thing a lot of people do is use like a Lioness Crown, or they put Jewels of the Deep in the Old Northern Crown, give you extra mana. You'll see we're rocking roughly 600 mana, which is very difficult to work with. Toast likes a lot of mana. And yeah, just your best shield, work up that ward. We're going to hide behind ward a lot here. So let's hop in, see if we can make it work. I generally start with Ward of Ortonite. And then we start to buff up. It's always nice when Chimera takes a few kills for you while you're buffing up. I always use Mimic's Mischief. I don't always use Mimic's Mischief, but I like to use Mimic's Mischief because we get the curse immunity from our shield. And then we're going to make use of Diffuse Ward. Always remember that it's 90 mana that you need to use it. And then we're just going to use Sortie to keep our ward turns up. And then we're just going to run through all of these bosses. So it's pretty brainless. If you get past 90 mana, don't worry because we use the Mana Siphon. Okay, so at this point I can't use Sortie because Fallen Demeter is immune. If I use Wyvern Strikes, I'm going to be below 90 mana to use Diffuse Ward, so I'm just going to use Diffuse Ward. Worst case, we do gain health. Worst case, we do of course gain mana by receiving damage. That's why Bear's Might is actually very good, because it lowers our defense and resistance, but just depends on what kind of gear you have, if you want to do that or not. Otherwise, we're just going to continue with sortie. So for anything that's immune to earth, I just use Wyvern Strikes, which is a dragon elemental skill, and then of course we have Osmo Strike to regain health when we need it. Or you can stick with Diffuse Ward, it's not much of an issue. Gilgamesh Cataphract, the synergy is just amazing really. We gain a lot of ward each turn, so Diffuse Ward always going to be available for us. You can also have something like Swordplay, which is a larger multi-hitting skill to take down higher health bosses. Whenever sortie crits, it's happy days. 2 in a row is nice. And there we go, we just regained maximum mana, and that allows us to easily use Osmo Strike, keep your health topped up, and we go down again. So generally, once you get up to the tier 10 bosses, you'll start to receive much more damage, and that just keeps your mana up nice and high. Anubis and Odin are the ones that cause most damage to us. They use magic spells. We got Blight there, which is quite annoying, but Gilgamesh has Steadfast too, so normally we can just ignore status afflictions, which is super nice for dungeons. And sortie, and sortie just keeps our ward turns topped up to the max. And we come across another Earth and Immune boss, and at this point we just swap into Wyvern Strikes. You can use Wyvern Strikes or Blight Strike 3, whichever one you prefer. And that's it. Very easy hard mode boss dungeons with Gilgamesh, super fast. Maximum XP. Okay, so in the arena with Gilgamesh, it's all about Spiked Shield. It effectively works like true damage because the attack gain as a percentage of our ward is just ridiculously high. Quick look at gear. Again, maximum ward. Of course we need the Abyssal Axe to increase our ward to the max as our weapon. I've got Curb's Eye Jewels in here just to increase the ward even more. Accessories, I've got Carl's Ring. Again, health, mana, increases our ward. You can use status immunity gear there as well. And I normally go with a Ring of Day just to stop people shredding my defense. Okay, so at this point I've got maximum 130,000 ward. We get a turn 1 Mimic's Mischief from our pet. We still normally use Gunner turn 1, so let's have a go. 20k health, we're still not really killing people in one go. Only problem with Gilgamesh is our low dexterity, and especially going up against Realm Shifters, we tend to miss a lot. Another Realm Shifter, so what I might do here, I might stun him first up. Okay, he's stunned, we get Mimic's Mischief, and then we can just go straight into Spike Shield, and yeah, 23,000 damage. Yeah, so at this point, Spike Shield is fairly ridiculous. Spike Shield 1 isn't amazing, but Spike Shield 2 is solid, and obviously once you get up to level 240, you get Spike Shield 3, which is the most ridiculous PvP skill in the game. When people get low, with Second Chance it's not amazing. It's like, oh yeah, and Spike Shield 3 can crit as well. And Spike Shield 3 can crit as well, which just makes it even more ridiculous. We can also Ward of Ortonite, turn 1, and that increases our ward quite significantly, and that actually gives us even more damage turn 1 as well. So you can use a mixture of Ward of Ortonite, Gate of Gunner. If you're going up against a really high health enemy, even Wark right at the back there, and you're doing so much damage. with Spike Shield 3. Realm Shifters are probably the worst people to come up against are Realm Shifter Swashbucklers. They can really shred our ward, and that is one of the only ways really to negate Spike Shield, because it takes a percentage off our ward as our attack. Being stunned for a long time doesn't help either, but again, Gilgamesh is kind of brainless for a lot of content. So we'll finish it off here once we take down this guy. Only thing, yeah, this is the worst thing about Gilgamesh in PvP, is that it's lack of dexterity. You are going to miss a lot, but it's at this point when you start to use skills like Stun Dart and then finish them off. Okay, so Gilgamesh, pretty brainless, doing raids, doing dungeons, and doing PvP as well. The worst thing about it is for sure going to be world farming. You don't have to watch this if you don't want to, but it's pretty painful. So if we're going with full experience gear with the Venom, the Risen Monster Tombs in the world, let's just see exactly how bad it is. I'm only going to suffer for 2 minutes here. So you really need to buff up to kill anything. Swordplay 3 is not going to kill anything, and the one saving grace is that, well, I'm not sure there is one, to be honest with you. Alright, so that's Gilgamesh Cataphract, solid tier 10 class. The synergy between Gilgamesh and the Cataphract spec is absolutely brilliant. You can sail through hard mode boss dungeons with these. That's the other thing we didn't cover, is endless dungeons. You can definitely get really far in endless to maximize our experience gain. If you want to see a Gilgamesh endless video, let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed this little gameplay montage of different content that you can do with Gilgamesh at tier 10. Let me know if you're looking forward to reaching tier 10 and playing Gilgamesh class. It's a really nice end to the warrior line. Cataphract again, amazing spec. So let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. I'm Shabash, and we'll see you in the next video. Ciao.